Welcome back to LFG Overland and the final episode of our Oregon adventure. I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as we've enjoyed making it.
Well, good morning. It's Thursday, so happy 4th of July. I didn't end up filming anything last night. We got off the trail pretty late. We were pretty tired, and we couldn't really find anything dispersed. So we ended up at East Lake, which is a very beautiful lake. But we just dove into, I think it's called Cinder Hill campground, and just grabbed a spot. There happened to be one that was open where somebody had reserved it for tomorrow. So it just kind of worked out perfect. And we just made some quick food, had a little fire, and we got some sleep because we were tired. So anyway, so we're gonna get back on the BDR. We're gonna go do some overland stuff. Probably make some lunch, maybe some pizza on the Scottle, and see what there is to see. The plan is to try and get to Heart Mountain Antelope Refuge, and that I think is really the last high point as far as elevation goes along the route. From what Chris is telling me, I haven't really spent a lot of time looking at it, but that's what he's saying. So we may end up just going there today, spend tonight there, and then I may pack up in the morning and either bomb the desert section by myself or head to just jump on 395 and head down to the Sierras and do some fishing for a couple days before I go home. Either way, more to come. More to come. We'll see.
Back on the trail, rolling south from East Lakes. It's like flipping the page in a storybook. Up here at the southern Deschutes National Forest, the morning air is cool, the lodgepole and ponderosa pines still thick around us, and the lava rock reminds you that this land was forged by fire. But as we descend, the environment begins to shift. The trees grow shorter, more spaced out. Fir gives way to pine, and pine gives way to sage. The forest slowly opens its grip, and the sky gets bigger with every mile.
So we've been blasting down some very nice state forest roads, able to carry a little bit of speed. Obviously not too much because we got traffic coming in both directions. I've seen a lot of ADV guys out working their way north because we're going southbound, which makes it a little bit different. But as you can see, the flora and fauna is changing a little bit. We've gone from like manzanitas and different types of huge, massive green walls of pine to something that's a little more high desert. We've got a bit more like sagebrush and scrub, along with still beautiful trees. It's so unique out here. I mean, I feel like I keep, I don't know, showing you guys the same things, because every day is just filled with all this green and all this beauty. But if you haven't been out here, you haven't been to Oregon. I think Oregon's the new goat for me. Been in Colorado the last couple years, been continuing to head there, but a week at a time. This year I just chose to spend my week differently and come to Oregon, and as you know, meet up with Chris, who I haven't seen in a couple of years. So it was a really nice shift, and if you haven't done it, take the time, get out here. You don't need a super fancy rig. I haven't put my truck in 4-wheel drive. So if you've got, a vehicle that has a little bit of clearance, maybe some good tires, probably some good tires, definitely some good tires, because tires are key. Back it up. Come out. Get outside. Enjoy the fresh air. Enjoy the beauty. There's just so much to see and so much to experience. And a lot of times I think a lot of us get caught up in the gear. And don't get me wrong, I love gear. And I love my rig and I love building it out, but that's not what makes this possible. What makes this possible is just coming out and doing it. You know, whether it's just a basic pickup truck that has some good tires on it and you throw a tent in the back, or if you sleep in the back, you don't even need a tent. Still gives you the ability to get out here. On this trail, we've seen, for the most part, I think a Subaru could be just fine as long as you knew what you're doing. Every once in a while, there's a place that you might take a little bit more work to get through. Might be a little bit more work to get through, but do it, man. Get out here. Talk to you soon. So we've made our way into the next stretch here, which is shared UTV area. We'll have to figure out the name of it and get back to you on that one. But man, these UTV trails, all the whoops, absolutely the wrong weapon for this trail. I'll tell you, with the Tacoma, it's just the wrong wheelbase. So it's slowing. It is slow going, but hopefully we get through this pretty quick, and then we pick up and make up some ground, because we'd really like to make it up to that Heart Mountain area, to where we can get up, because we're going to lose a lot of elevation, so it's going to get pretty hot today, and then that'll help us get back up to where it'll be a decent temperature to sleep. But this here is slow going. This is like 3 to 5 miles an hour, and sometimes even that's pushing it. But anyway, not complaining. I think it's awesome that we have different ways, to get out here. Some like to truck, some like Jeeps, some are the side by sides, and then there's all the ADV moto guys. So it's good that at least we got the space where people can get out and enjoy the time. But man, painful. Wrong vehicle for this particular trail, but we'll get through it. If that's the worst thing that happens all day, that you're stuck riding in a bumpy trail or a lot of whoops in a beautiful area, and that's the worst thing you got going on, it's a pretty darn good day, I think.
Now we start seeing junipers scattered across the hillside, and that classic dusty green sagebrush creeping in from the edges of the trail. The trail dips, climbs, winding us out of the high timber and into the edge of Oregon's high desert. It's subtle, but powerful. You can feel the transition. The air dries out, the colors warm. We're leaving the shadow of the Cascades behind and heading into a whole new kind of wild. That's the beauty of the Oregon BDR. You don't just drive through the land, you experience the layers of it, one ridge at a time. As we continue down the trail, the landscape continues to shift. In and out of the trees, however, the sagebrush has become much more consistent. The air is dry, the dust rises quickly, but we're able to make really good time through this section in hopes to get to Heart Mountain. It is here on the trail that we begin to see cattle, resting in the shade, under the trees, out in the open, small herds and small groups. And this brings us to our first gate. And the rules of gates in Oregon are very simple. If the gate is closed, make sure you close it as you pass through. If the gate is open, make sure you leave it open. Now the forest has completely fallen away. We are submerged in sage, surrounded by dust and dirt of the high desert. The temperature continues to rise, and it's obvious the world has changed. The BDR has shifted, and we're on to the next phase.
This one looks a bit easier.
Yeah, that's it.
So we just pulled over out around BLM land to make some lunch, just a quick sandwich, get back on the road. There's also a group of ADV guys coming up behind us, so we figured it'd be nice just to kind of pull over, let them go by. I'm sure they're moving probably a lot faster than we are. So as you can see, managed to find just a little tiny bit of shade here. We're getting back into some trees, but they're very low, so got to take advantage of what we can. Ouch! Stubbed my toe on a rock. Anyway, time to eat.
Put some clear nail polish on this or something so it doesn't rust.
Right.
You're the man. Chef Jeff. Right there.
Alright, so we had a great lunch. Real simple, it's lunch. And we've been moving pretty good. Got back into some trees, but still a lot of sagebrush. Just went past a crack in the ground, which is kind of interesting. I gotta look into that, develop a better understanding about it. Maybe a picture of something of it here. It's currently just under 100 degrees, and I'm still wearing my flip-flops. And it's about a half-mile walk, so I opted out. Excited, Chris. Trying to make up time so we can actually make it to where he wants to go tonight. So we're doing both. Just keep moving. Yeah, so we made it to Christmas Valley. Filled up the tank, and the Chevron here has a nice little market. Picked up a couple steaks, some broccoli, additional water, just goodies, some snacks, and we're back on the road. Well, it finally opened up a little bit. It's obviously been more desert. But for the last probably 2 hours, it was just crawling over like embedded lava rock. Probably the most uncomfortable, roughest road, hardest on the vehicle I think that's I've been on in a long time. Reminiscent of one road out in Death Valley on one trip, but this just lasted, say, about 2 hours, if not 2.5. But it's finally smoothed out a little bit, and we're actually making some time. I don't know where we're going to end up tonight. We're down in the desert, and it's hot, so we're going to have to find some elevation. I'm hoping that we'll still make it to our destination, but we may have to call an audible and plan B. It just depends on the way things continue. If it stays smooth like this, good chance we'll get there. If not, we'll have to find some elevation somewhere so we can cool off, so we can get some sleep and finish it off tomorrow. So,
Thankfully, we did find elevation. We were short of our target. We didn't quite reach Plush, Oregon, so we weren't going to get to Heart Mountain. But we did find the Coyote Hills, and up a couple roads, found a couple places, and eventually settled in on one for the night. It was our last night on the trail together, so we just lit a fire, had a cocktail, ate a steak, and relaxed.
good morning. So it's Friday.
Friday. Yeah, TGIF.
TGIF. We've been hanging out for a week now.
Yep.
Exploring Oregon. We started some crazy buggy little campground. Not around, what was the name of the town? French Glen?
French Glen.
French Glen.
French Glen.
And then we headed off to the Oahes.
Albert Desert first.
Albert Desert, yes,
Yep.
Albert Desert. Hit the playa. Hit Coyote Lake.
Yep.
Which was a second playa.
Yep.
Then we headed off to
Hawaii.
Oahes.
Yep.
Had a hard time finding a spot because we were tired and it was late. And Idaho didn't have any camping spots, remember?
Yeah. don't go looking for a camping spot in the Idaho section of
The Oahes.
Oahes.
There was nothing.
Yeah.
And then we checked out the Oahes the next day. Cool little campground.
Very pretty. Lots of families having fun down in the spring.
Everybody,
or the river.
Everybody enjoying the outdoors.
Yeah. Cows.
And had
Lots of cows.
Lots of cows, right?
Yep. Yep.
Lots of cows. And then we headed to Mount Hood.
Yep.
And that was where we jumped on the BDR.
Yep. Scenic drive from the Oahes to Hood. Long. Wait, no. We went from the Oahes and then we camped at Blue Mountain.
Blue Mountain, yes.
We camped at Blue Mountain.
Yes.
And then that was off of the 2060 John Day Oregon Scenic Byway or whatever.
Yeah.
Very scenic, very pretty drive.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yep.
Then we finally made it to Hood.
Yep.
And then we jumped on the BDR.
Yep.
And we almost completed section 2. Well, we went backwards, right? So we went 5, 4, 3, almost completed 2 because we didn't quite get to Plush yesterday.
Right. Yep.
We called an audible just because it was getting late.
Yep.
And then we ended up here in this amazing spot. Any thoughts? Any like major captures from the trip?
Well, it was super cool when we rolled in here on the 4th of July yesterday and those blue jays chased the bald eagle out of the campsite. That was cool.
That was pretty crazy, right?
Yep. Yep.
That was pretty crazy.
It was really neat seeing all the different contrasts of the state. Having lived here for a little over a year and mostly spent my time either in and around Portland and on the coast and the Coast Range and the Gorge, where it's all your temperate rainforest kind of vibes. I knew that there were areas that were very deserty that would look like high country Arizona and areas in Colorado and stuff, and it was fun to see all of that stuff here, and it was really eye-opening experience. So,
I think the word contrast really rings for me. It's been something that we've been ringing through every time I kind of do my commentary on the vlog, I guess they call it, because I'm still new to this stuff. And I don't even know if I'm ever going to show any of this stuff to anybody, but if I do, it's contrast. It's desert, and then it was lush and green.
Yep.
It was cold, then it was hot.
Yep.
Then it was smooth playa. Then it was rocky, chunky, not technical, just rocky, chunky, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And we've oscillated, I think, so much between all of those. But amazing trip.
Yeah.
Amazing trip. Trucks. We only really saw one Jeep coming the other direction. On the BDR. And some motorcycles.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people out.
Yeah. No, not really. We would go for hours without seeing anybody.
What we did see, we saw Rob from Revere.
Yeah.
Venture to Rome.
Those guys.
And we don't know who the third guy was.
Yep.
Yeah, we passed him. That was pretty early on, I think, in our trip. But
was that was my sister's, wasn't it?
It was our second day on the trail.
Yeah.
Sisters.
Yeah, that was real pretty.
Yeah.
I think those were my favorite sections. Were the Hood Sisters area, that section around. I think this, as far as technical driving, the section around Brightonbush, that lake that had the fire damage, that was the chunkiest and nastiest. It was fun and it was short, but if you were concerned about getting through it on a bike, I would be concerned about that area and maybe take a detour. Or if you were running a smaller rig with less ground clearance or something like that, might consider going around that. And there are always different ways to get around different areas too, I think.
Sure.
So, yeah.
No, amazing trip.
Yeah. Right on.
Boom.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to finish packing down camp. I am going to show you a little bit about I don't know if I'll do it in this video, but I want to do a quick walk around on his rig because I think it really ties into some of the stuff I was talking about yesterday, which is gear, right? I've got the come with the camper and all this crazy stuff, and you don't have to go that crazy to get out here and enjoy this, right?
Yep.
All right, so we'll do that. We might see that, you might not. See you later.
Nice.
Well, we're all packed up, leaving camp for the last time on this trip. All good things must come to an end, they say, but it's just a beginning, an opportunity for another adventure. If you've hung in here this long and you've enjoyed what we've shown you, please take a moment to like and subscribe so you can catch us on the next adventure. Be well.